The Geekvape Zeus X RTA. The Geekvape Zeus X RTA was sent to me for review from heavengifts.com. This is a 25mm rebuildable tank that supports both single and dual coil builds, so let's talk about it. It's 25mm in diameter by 47.8mm tall, 4.5mm capacity, or 2 mils for TPD compliance, has top airflow, it's single and dual coil compatible, and it comes in the colors of black, gunmetal, stainless steel, rainbow, red, black, and blue. You can get it for about $34.99. In the box you get the Geekvape Zeus X RTA, spare glass tube, an 810 drip tip, 2 NI80 0.4 ohm coils, spare parts, O-rings, hex wrench, and extras, a 510 adapter, some cotton, and some coils. Now, I really like the design of this tank. I've never been a fan of the way bubble tanks look, but Geekvape made this one look pretty good. I think what makes it look better than others is the shape of the top cap and the base. The mouthpiece has this slant that leads into the tank rather than being boxy and straight. But these angles create more of a roundness, so the size of the bubble glass, it just seems more subtle. And the base of the tank does the same thing, leading up into the tank at an angle. As for the rest of the design, everything looks good. The finish for all the colors look nice, and I also like the low profile style of the drip tip. On the chimney, you'll see this very finely printed design of Zeus, the Greek god, and that's really cool. It's a very nicely designed RTA as far as style goes. It's 25mm in diameter, and it stands about 1.8 inches tall. The drip tip is a very short, low-profile tip. You also get an extra Ultim 810 drip tip in the box if you want something a little longer. And of course, you can use your own on here too. And if you want to use a 510, there's a 510 adapter in the box too. The top cap unscrews from the top of the chimney piece, right above the airflow control. There's nothing interesting about it. When you take that off, you get access to the fill ports. And this is a top airflow tank, so that should help prevent leaks. On the top cap is the airflow control ring, which comes off, so it's nice that you can remove it and clean behind it. The one problem with it though is that it just comes off a little too easily. It's really loose. But as far as adjusting it goes, it moves nice and smoothly both ways, and it comes to a stop on each end. And of course you have the silica glass tube, which is a 4.5mm in the standard version. The 4.5mm is pre-installed, but you get a 3.5 straight glass tube in the box if you want to use that instead. And I know some people really hate the way bubble glass looks, so it's nice that you have the option to switch it up if you want. The chimney on here is a double chimney, which Geekvape says creates optimal flavor. The top chimney's chamber covers the internal airflow chamber. That internal chamber is held inside of the outer chamber with an O-ring. This inner chamber has airflow holes, so when you take a hit from the tank, the airflow comes in from the airflow at the top, goes between the two walls, and is directed straight to the coils. It's a really cool idea. The airflow on the Zeus X is super smooth, and I think this is one of the reasons. I also think that this is helping with flavor production. The Zeus X supports both single and dual coil builds, but the one thing that you have to keep in mind when doing single coil is that you need enough cotton to fill the wicking holes so that it doesn't flood. That means that you need to build a pretty big coil. Geekvape recommends a minimum of a 3mm coil, but you might need something even bigger. It's a postless deck, so you need to cut the coils to the right length, drop them down into the post holes, and tighten it all down with the pre-installed flathead screws. I'm not really a big fan of postless decks because I can never get the coil leg snipped to the right length. I don't have one of those coil measuring tools, but I really should get one. Anyway, there's some space at the bottom of the post that would make you think that it would be easier to clip the leads once the coils are in, but that space is just way too small to get the wire clippers in there. So you really do need to try to get the measurements right when you clip the leads before installing them. When aligning the coils, you want to make sure that they don't go past the edge of the posts. The chamber isn't very big, so that's about as far as you want to go to prevent the coils from touching the chamber and shorting out. The posts sit a little tall, so when you wick the coils, you'll want to cut them just a little longer than the outside of the base. Then you just tuck that into the holes and do the other side. Geekvape does include 2 NI80 0.4 ohm coil and some cotton, so you have what you need to get started. The flavor is pretty good. It's not as good as a mesh tank, but to compare to other RTAs that I've used, this one is up there with the best of them. The airflow is nice and smooth. With the airflow wide open, it feels good, and you get a lot of air coming through. The flavor is good wide open, but it gets even better the more you shut it down. Alright, so that's it for the Geekvape Zeus X RTA. It looks good, the top cap is easy to take off to fill the tank, and the double chimney airflow creates some really good flavor. The postless deck makes installing coils a little more challenging, but it's not really a big deal. So yeah, I really like this one a lot. This was sent to me for a review from heavengifts.com, and you can get it from them for $34.99. Thanks for checking out this review, and I'll catch you on the next one.